think some of the specific risks right now on Samos with COVID-19 is, first of all, because all the camps are under strict lockdown, which means that people can't really leave the premises of the camp per se, or have to get a permission slip or have to queue for hours. I think one of the first ones is more diseases. None of the medical NGOs that are on the island are able to access high-risk patients, for example. I think the second biggest risk is boredom and frustration and isolation that all the camp residents are going through, because they literally can't leave their tents, or they can't leave their containers or their areas, because all of the NGOs are closed and we are not allowed to work for safety reasons, obviously. For the foreseeable future, the camp is in lockdown at least till October 9th, and the cases just keep getting confirmed. So we think this is going to be for quite a long run. And I think overall it's just worsening the human rights violations that we already had. So worsening the conditions, the horrible conditions people are living in, worsening the access to healthcare and education and legal aid, worsening the access to hygiene and health and water, just basically making all of those even worse and contributing to the isolation and frustration of all the camp residents right now. So as Samos Volunteers, what we've tried to do is, first of all, we've had to close at first, clearly, to try and reassess the situation and see what we could do with the new situation. We distributed more than 8,000 sanitary packs with face masks and soap and explanations on how to wash your hands and what to do. We've kept our laundry station open. It's the only laundry station on the island that accepts refugees, and we've been using it together with the medical NGOs to try and help some of the people. We've also used it for our volunteers that live in the camp so that they can clean and wash their clothes. Once we were able to open for a very small gap, we social distance everything as much as possible. We social distance our classes and our new spaces so that we could ensure the safety of our beneficiaries. And we've also started Alpha Online to make sure that our students have some access to education while we wait for things to go back to normal, and some sense of normalcy for us to be able to restart all of our activities. I think right now the greatest difficulties and obstacles are related to lack of information. The new Greek government is not very responsible or helpful, so we really don't know till when the lockdown is going to happen. What are the rules for us in a way, other than having to close down? So I think the biggest obstacle right now, apart from lack of resources, obviously, because we are a small grassroots NGO, would be the lack of information and the uncertainty that the situation is bringing upon us, because we don't know how we're going to be able to help when we don't know what's going to happen. Okay. I think our biggest concerns right now is, first of all, that they don't reopen the camps, so that they keep extending this ridiculous lockdown that is causing more and more cases, because people can't social distance inside of the camps because it's ridiculously overcrowded. Our other main concern is that people just keep getting infected, and lots of vulnerable people might be at the risk of dying, and these could be very preventable deaths if they do happen within the camps. And not being able to support our communities and not being able to open, not knowing when we're going to be able to open is also very hard. It's one of our main concerns, because we are here to help the community as much as we can. And realistically, we're not going to be able to do it if we don't know how we can help and we don't get more resources to help. Yes, 100%. So even though there have been cases of COVID in the cities haven't been locked down. The island has been wide open for tourists to come through the summer season, and we do understand there's a push and pull of economics and needing to get the economy restarted, especially for a small island such as Samos. But it is a bit unfair in a way that the camps, not only on Samos but on Lesbos as well, with everything that's happening on Lesbos, but that the camps are closed down, same with the camps in Athens and Thessaloniki, and the other areas are not, because that just means the camp residents are ostracized even more than they were before, because if they're seen at a shopping at a shopping center, if they're seen walking down the streets, or if they're seen at the grocery store, they will be ostracized way more because there's this extreme lockdown in all of the camps. So I do think this has heightened the inequality that we had, at least within our island. I think from the government we need more accountability and more transparency, and we need them to be more honest. We need them to talk to us. We need them to reach out to the NGOs that are doing the job that they're not, and let us help them, because realistically we should all be pushing towards the same goal. I think that on the one side. From the international community, especially from the EU, we need more empathy, we need more care, we need governments to stand up for what's right and do what they said they were going to do with the first asylum procedure that they came up with. And we don't need them to invent another new one and say that they don't want more Morias when they've just built literally a new Moria on Lesbos after the fire. We need them to care, we need them to do more, and we need them to uphold their promise to protect and respect the thousands of people that are asking for asylum in Europe. I think right now the biggest measure that could be taken is getting people off the islands and getting people off the biggest camps, the really overcrowded camps. We need especially vulnerable people, but there's pregnant women, there's minors. We need to see them getting transferred as fast as possible. There have been some minors transferred from Samos, some unaccompanied minors transferred, because some European countries agreed to take in around 100 per country. That is definitely not enough. But we need to see people get transferred and taken out of these overcrowded and sanitary inhumane camps.